The annual Catholic Appeal, continuing the tradition of neighbor helping neighbor, responding to Pope Francis's call to serve with love, serving our brothers and sisters throughout life's journey, caring for the less fortunate, walking with those in need. Make your donation of time, talent, or treasure online at diospringfield.org and help us to help our neighbors in need. Support the annual Catholic Appeal.
Coming up on this edition of Reel to Reel.
I'm Peggy Weber, and I'll be bringing you the story of the press conference that kicked off the annual Catholic Appeal.
I'm Terry Hegarty. I'll be profiling another Terry, Brother Terrence Scanlon, as he celebrates the Golden Jubilee of his religious profession.
And the new director of Genesis Spiritual Life and Conference Center is putting the organization on a new path. These stories and more are just ahead on this edition of Reel to Reel from Lorraine's Food Pantry and Soup Kitchen in Chicopee.
From throughout Western New England and beyond, this is Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you. Here is your Reel to Reel host, Sharon Roulier.
Hello and welcome to Reel as we come to you today from Lorraine's Soup Kitchen in Chicopee, one of some 40 agencies and services supported by contributions to the annual Catholic Appeal of the Diocese of Springfield. And this was the site this past week for the kickoff of the 2014 annual Catholic Appeal. This major fund drive supports the many charitable works and services of the Catholic Church here in Western Massachusetts, including this soup kitchen and food pantry. And this year, there is a new component to the appeal. Peggy Weber was at the kickoff press conference and tells us more.
Pope Francis has said, how marvelous it would be if, at the end of the day, each of us could say, I have performed an act of charity towards others. It is with that spirit that Bishop Timothy McDonnell announced the start of the 2014 Annual Catholic Appeal.
This past year has been very, very different. The fact that we were able to help so many people means that this coming year, more will be expected of us. And so I'm asking people to help even more.
The Annual Catholic Appeal raised and distributed $2.5 million last year. It hopes to attain a $3 million goal this Lent. In 2013, the average gift was $130.37, with almost 20,000 people making donations. However, this year, Bishop McDonnell is seeking more than just money.
In addition to our request for funds, and that is so important, we're also undertaking a program under the auspices of the Annual Catholic Appeal to seek volunteers, people who will give time to the various ministries, agencies, and programs in their parish and beyond. This is in response to Pope Francis's call that we be more involved with people, that we go out where people are, that we be where they are, and we be there to help them.
Bishop McDonnell was joined by several of the representatives of the 40 agencies supported by the Annual Catholic Appeal. Kim Goulet, Executive Director of Lorraine's Soup Kitchen, said that she has seen an increase in need at Lorraine's. About 80 to 100 people come to dinner each night.
We've had so many cutbacks throughout the years in federal and state funding that the money is getting tighter and tighter, but the need is getting greater and greater.
Tammy and Michael Joy of Chicopee spoke at the press conference. The parents of 3 said Lorraine's has helped them tremendously.
After 20 years of having a great job, I lost my job and we have 3 children to feed. So it became very difficult when the money stopped coming in. Unemployment was cut, as everyone knows, and the money wasn't there. So Lorraine's has helped us tremendously.
The couple said they eat at Lorraine's about 3 times a week, and Lorraine's is helped out by many dedicated volunteers. The annual Catholic Appeal relies upon the generosity of the people of Western Massachusetts and beyond. But this year they're also asking for the time and talent of those people to assist the various agencies that are sponsored by the annual Catholic Appeal. Homework House is another agency supported by the annual Catholic Appeal. It assists about 100 students a day and needs about 50 to 60 volunteers daily, according to Virginia Dillon, the executive director of Homework House.
At Homework House in Holyoke, we provide tutoring mentoring for kindergartners through 6th graders, and we really depend on volunteer tutors to provide our services.
The annual Catholic Appeal began in 1959 to provide for the ever-increasing educational, human, pastoral, and spiritual needs for the people of Berkshire, Franklin, Hampden, and Hampshire counties. And as is noted in its mission statement, it assists people of all ages and from all walks of life. And it enables the Church to promote social justice, respect for human life, and to communicate with all who seek to hear the teachings of Jesus Christ. Bishop McDonald and representatives from the annual Catholic Appeal agencies noted that it has been a very difficult winter, and the needs are growing.
We're asking people out there to realize that you are the means by which they can help.
To donate or make a pledge to the annual Catholic Appeal, go online to www.iobserve.org and click on the annual Catholic Appeal link. For Real to Real, I'm Peggy Weber.
And joining me now to talk more about the annual Catholic Appeal is Stacy DeBurn, who coordinates and manages this annual fund drive. Thanks so much for being with us today, Stacy.
Hi, Sharon. Thanks for having me.
Now, as Peggy reported, this year the annual Catholic Appeal is introducing a new component to the program. Can you tell us more about this service opportunity?
Well, as you know, many of the organizations that we help through our funding of the annual Catholic Appeal would benefit greatly from some more help. That means hands on deck. If people are willing to volunteer some of their time or talent for serving meals or preparing baby baskets or any number of different organizations, they could definitely use the help.
And how does one participate in this new program?
Well, there are a couple of ways. This weekend at all Masses across the diocese, there will be an opportunity during Mass to sign up as a volunteer. And if they miss that opportunity, you can go to our website, iobserve.org, and click on the Annual Catholic Appeal tab, and there's an opportunity there to sign up to volunteer.
That's great. Thanks so much. It's nice to hear that people can give in so many ways and to such a good cause. Thanks for joining us today, Stacy.
It was great to be here. Thanks for having me.
And for more information on the annual Catholic Appeal, you can find a link on our website at iobserve.org. And still to come on Real to Real, Dan Dumas takes a look at the latest highlights in and around the Diocese of Springfield, and our own brother Terrence Scanlon marks a special anniversary. These stories and more are still to come on this edition of Real to Real from Lorraine's Food Pantry and Soup Kitchen.
The Chalice of Salvation, your weekly spiritual connection. I'm Passionist Brother Terrence Scanlon, your Chalice host, inviting you to take time out of your busy life to celebrate God's goodness with us each Sunday morning. This week we welcome our friends from St. Patrick's Parade Committee. Father William Lunny will be our Mass presider. The Chalice of Salvation, your spiritual connection, Sunday morning at 10, right here on 22 News, WWLP.
The annual Catholic Appeal, continuing the tradition of neighbor helping neighbor, responding to Pope Francis's call to serve with love, serving our brothers and sisters throughout life's journey, caring for the less fortunate, walking with those in need. Make your donation of time, talent, or treasure online at diospringfield.org and help us to help our neighbors in need. Support the annual Catholic Appeal.
Join hundreds of men from across the Diocese of Springfield and beyond to spend a day focused on God at the 12th Annual Catholic Men's Conference on Saturday, March 29th at the Bellamy School in Chicopee. This year's theme is Return to Me with All Your Heart and will feature a keynote address by Cardinal Sean O'Malley of Boston. Other speakers will include Ralph Martin of Renewal Ministries and Brian Mercier of Rock Group Ministries, as well as local singer and writer Denny Flynn, who will share his insights on mercy. There will be time to visit exhibits, to receive the Sacrament of Reconciliation, to pray, and to spend time with other men talking about their faith. Women of the Diocese and beyond will have their time for faith sharing when they come together for the 7th Annual Catholic Women's Conference on Saturday, April 26th at Bellamy School in Chicopee. Noted Catholic author Lisa Hende, founder of CatholicMom.com, will keynote the day. Joining her as speakers will be Sister of St. Joseph Eleanor Spring, group facilitator at Western Mass Regional Women's Correctional Center, whose topic will be the God of Surprises, and author Carrie Weber, managing editor of America Magazine, who will speak about mercy in the city. For more information on the Women's Conference, call 452-0812. For the Men's, call 549-0300, extension 12, or log on to iobserve.org and look for the hot link to the Men's and Women's Conferences. Sign up now.
I'm Dan Dumas with your Reel-to-Reel News Brief. The conventual Franciscan friars who staff 3 parishes in the Diocese of Springfield have selected a new minister provincial to lead what will soon be a much larger province. Father James McCurry, well known by many for having served at the former St. Hyacinth Seminary in Granby, was recently elected to the leadership post. This May, the conventual Franciscans Immaculate Conception Province and St. Anthony of Padua Province will unite to form a new jurisdiction called Our Lady of Angels Province. Its territory will encompass the eastern United States, Canada, Costa Rica, Brazil, as well as Great Britain and Ireland. Congratulations, Father McCurry. In other news, the first Sunday of Lent marks an important step for those seeking full membership in the Catholic faith. Dave Martin reports now on last week's rite of election.
156 people from parishes around the Springfield Diocese took an important step in their faith journey during the annual rite of election ceremony at St. Michael's Cathedral in Springfield. Participants in the Diocese Rite of Christian Initiation for adults are encouraged by the number of people who are undergoing spiritual transformation by joining the Catholic Church and reinforcing their relationship with God.
There's nothing that brings me greater joy as a catechetical leader to be part of their journey and to see that relationship grow and develop, and their lives change and become faith-filled and joy-filled.
Catechumens are those preparing to receive the sacraments of baptism, confirmation, and Eucharist at the Easter Vigil. Candidates are those who have already been baptized but want to receive the other sacraments. The celebration of election began with Principal Celebrant Springfield Bishop Timothy McDonald calling catechumens to the altar to sign their names in the Book of the Elect.
To sign my name and to be called by the Lord to be one of the elect, to move on to the next stage of my journey to Catholicism was very moving. It was, and to have Patrick, my sponsor, by my side, again was a strengthening feeling to know that he was there for me.
Candidates were asked to stand as the godparents placed a hand on their shoulder. They were blessed and recognized during the call to conversion. In his homily, Bishop McDonald said Lent is a period of prayer, penance, and preparation.
For those already baptized, these 40 days of Lent are a time of reflection and renewal, a time to recommit to all that baptism entails.
Later, people were invited to attend an RCIA Day of Reflection at Mary Mother of Hope Church in Springfield, a day-long retreat on April 6th. In Springfield, I'm David Martin.
Another event taking place at the Cathedral Church was an annual Mass for Catholic Scouts. Scouting has long played an important role in the development of young people. Every year, Catholic Scouts come together to celebrate their commitment with Bishop McDonald. Terry Haggerty has the story.
More than 100 Catholic Scouts and Scout leaders from across the diocese gathered recently for a special Mass in St. Michael's Cathedral. The annual Catholic Scouting Mass served as a venue for the Scouts to be recognized for the religious awards that they earned. Both Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts accompanied Bishop McDonald and Father Eugene Plass, Diocesan Scouting Chaplain, for the Mass, which marked the 59th anniversary of Catholic Scouting in the diocese.
It's a crowning achievement of everything we do for scouting and religious emblems. And it's a wonderful treasure to learn your faith and to share it with each other.
Father Plass, the pastor of St. Thomas the Apostle Parish in Palmer, has been sharing the faith through scouting in the diocese for more than 35 years. Ethan Pilon, a parishioner of Holy Cross Parish in Springfield and a member of Troop 275, received the Ad Altare Dei Award.
It was amazing, just seeing all the people that are a part of this and how amazing it was done today. It was great.
Ethan was one of 7 scouts who were bestowed the award. At the end of the Mass, they put on a theatrical production demonstrating some of what they had learned about the sacraments.
I sign you with the sign of the cross. I confirm you.
Girl Scout Morgan O'Connor says the efforts of the Scouts deserve recognition.
This Mass actually gives Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts time to officially get their awards that they've worked very hard on.
Father Plass is quick to point out that there are religious scouting awards for nearly every denomination.
Now to some Cathedral High hockey news. Sophomore John Leonard, a forward on the boys' hockey team, was chosen as one of just 52 high school players nationwide to participate in this year's USA Hockey's National Team Development Program Evaluation Camp. The camp, which will be held March 21st to 25th in Ann Arbor, Michigan, will help select the 2014-15 U.S. National Under-17 team. You can read a complete story online at our website, iobserve.org. Congratulations, John. But his focus, like the rest of the Panther skaters, was on preparing last week for Thursday's state Super 8 semifinal game in Lowell.
The young Cathedral High School team came into the semifinal game against Malden Catholic, with momentum having beaten the Lancers in the season finale. But Thursday night at the Songus Center in Lowell, Malden came better prepared with a tough defensive show, scoring once in each period and holding Cathedral to a single second period power play goal. Cathedral freshman Keith Petruzzello put on a strong performance with 33 saves, but not enough to defeat the reigning Super 8 champion, as the Panthers close out their season with a 3-1 loss and a season record of 17-3-5.
And despite the loss, it was yet another successful season. And remember to stay informed on all the happenings in our diocese. Log on to our news and information website, iobserve.org. There you'll find up-to-the-minute and accurate news on the Catholic Church, both here in the Diocese of Springfield and beyond. You can also see video reports from Reel to Reel and from the award-winning team at Catholic News Service. That's our news and information website, iobserve.org. I'm Dan Dumas, and that's your Reel to Reel News Brief.
Today, as we kick off the annual Catholic Appeal, we will highlight one of the spiritual ministries which receives some assistance. The Sisters of Providence Genesis Spiritual Life and Conference Center in Westfield has served as a spiritual oasis since 1976. Some may still think of it as the Holy Child Guild, which was on the grounds from 1933 until 1976, but its new director is setting a new direction for the growth of Genesis. I had the opportunity to meet with Liz Walsh, the first lay director of the center, to find out what led her to this new role and her hopes for the future of Genesis. Liz Walsh travels every day from her home in Greenfield to Westfield to oversee the daily operations of Genesis Spiritual Life and Conference Center, leading staff and setting direction for its growth. Last spring, in conjunction with their 140th anniversary, the Sisters of Providence made the transition to separately incorporate Genesis and appointed Waltz as their new director, whose mission it will be to make more people aware of the special relationship the Sisters of Providence and Genesis have in seeing to the needs of the earth.
The Sisters of Providence, because we have providence in our charism, look upon our care not only of people but of creation itself. For without creation and our world and our planet, we cannot survive. So for the last many, many years, Genesis has had a special orientation to caring for the planet as well.
Waltz's journey to the helm of Genesis involves several stops along the way. She was born and raised in Kansas, earned her bachelor's degree in communications from the University of Kansas, and has also earned several certificates in massage, yoga, spiritual direction, and self-care. She's the founder of a Catholic worker house in Philadelphia, where she also converted to Catholicism. And she spent several years in hospitality management at the Kripalu Center for Yoga and Health in Stockbridge.
I think the world is crying out for places like Genesis to come and be still and get in touch with the inner voice of God, and to be rejuvenated and then go back out and carry that love, compassion, and healing back into the community. So, yeah, I love being here.
The Sisters of Providence are committed, Waltz says, to designing and hosting programs at Genesis that foster holistic integration of body, mind, and spirit. The grounds and facilities at Genesis are beautiful, peaceful, and one cannot help but feel a sense of calm and rest while there.
So Genesis is a place, it's an oasis where people can come to have someone be present to them, to see beautiful things, eat delicious food, be inspired by some of our workshops and presenters, be in silence, have a spiritual companion if they desire that.
The center offers hospitality to persons of all faiths, cultures, and lifestyles, combines sensitivity to atmosphere, devotion to the land, and carefully designed programs so all who come may experience God's providential care.
Our Lady of Guadalupe Church reaches a milestone in rosary making next week on Reel to Reel.
You are watching Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you. Here again is your Reel to Reel host, Sharon Roulier.
Finally tonight, another ministry funded by the annual Catholic Appeal is the Catholic Communications Ministry, which produces this weekly program and the weekly televised Mass, the Chalice of Salvation, where my co-worker, Brother Terrence Scanlon, has been a fixture as Chalice host for more than 30 years. The West Springfield native this month marked his Golden Jubilee as a Passionist brother. Terry Hegarty attended the special celebration and has our story.
Brother Terrence Scanlon, the executive producer and host of the weekly televised Chalice of Salvation Mass in the Diocese of Springfield, had lots of company recently as he celebrated the 50th anniversary of his religious profession. The celebrations began with an afternoon Mass at St. Anne Parish in Chicopee. Family, friends, clergy, and many of his Catholic Communications co-workers were in attendance. Noticing the presence of the Catholic Communications video camera in the church, Bishop McDonald began his homily with a question about the Mass.
Is this Chalice of Salvation for tomorrow morning?
Even though it was not the Chalice Mass, Brother Terry says it was a beautiful celebration.
It's one of joy, actually, because I was kidding some of the people, they're saying, well, we'll see you 50 years. I said, no, we're going to celebrate. It took 50 years to get to this point. And all the beautiful things from the first time I entered the religious community and traveled through this 50-year journey.
A big part of that 50-year journey has been serving as the host for Chalice for more than 30 years, something he says he absolutely loves.
Good morning and welcome to the Chalice of Salvation, coming to you. I think the most enjoyable thing is always various groups come in to Chalice, and you have a variety of ministries that you're dealing with. And for me, it is a mirror image of what the diocese is all about. And the key thing on stewardship posters, neighbor helping neighbor. And that is the activity, and that's the health of the diocese.
During the liturgy, with Father Robert Jerger, the provincial for the Passionists, presiding, Brother Terry renewed the vows that he first took exactly 50 years earlier.
I, Brother Terrence Scanlon, declare my firm intention to consecrate myself to God more intimately and to follow Christ crucified more closely.
Bishop McDonald says that the sheer numbers of people who tune in to the weekly Mass make Brother Terry known far and wide.
His face is probably the best known Catholic in Western Massachusetts and beyond, and he's known for his gentle way, his insightful remarks, and his love of the Eucharist. And that's not a bad reputation to have for anyone.
Following the Mass, Catholic Communications CEO Mark Dupont emceed a dinner which was held at the Castle of Knights in Chicopee. After so many decades of speaking to a television audience, tonight Brother Terry had a live audience made up of well-wishers from family and friends. The celebration included many congratulations to Brother Terry and even some musical performances by Chalice music ministers.
Well, it's gratifying and it's extremely humbling to see the thanks coming back to you, because it's a very good feeling. I'm not going to lie about that, because there's so many stories buzzing around. You know, my father, my mother, my sister, you know, or when I was in the hospital. That's what the program's about, to bring the church into your homes.
While he's seen in thousands of homes each week, Brother Terry doesn't seek out recognition.
It's not focusing on himself. He helps people to focus on the Eucharist, and particularly Christ in the Eucharist. Christ present at Mass, Christ there, giving himself for us.
Before appearing in front of the camera, Brother Terry also worked behind it. Initially known as Brother Owen, he served as a camera operator, a photographer, an interviewer, a print shop operator, and an altar server. In fact, on September 8, 1957, just before the very first broadcast of the Chalice of Salvation, he was asked to serve that Mass. Today, Chalice is the longest-running non-news program in Springfield television history. Marie Renaud, the longest-serving member of the Chalice staff, began in the ministry 45 years ago.
Well, it's been very rewarding working with Brother Terry. He's an absolute wonderful person, as we all heard tonight. And, well, he's just a joy to work with.
He's a fascinating, real, holy man who's dedicated his life to being part and parcel of the community of the Passionists, whose focus is the heart of Jesus, the Passion of Christ.
A focus that Brother Terry plans to continue for years to come.
I just wish that we can still bring whatever is creative in the commercial field. I hope we can monetarily bring that into our ministry and through the whole Office of Communications, both our Catholic Mirror, Real, and Chalice, and just be as current as possible. That would be my wish and dream.
And knowing Brother Terry, he'll be a big part of that. Reporting for Reel to Reel, this is Terry Hegarty.
And I'm sure I can speak for all of Chalice's faithful viewers in wishing Brother Terrence a very happy anniversary. And we hope, as he said at the celebration dinner, that he's around for another 50 years. And for this week, that's Reel to Reel. Our many thanks to the folks here at Lorraine's Soup Kitchen for hosting our visit today. Remember, Lorraine's, as well as this television program, are beneficiaries of the generosity of donors to the annual Catholic Appeal. In total, 40 agencies and services helping the young and old alike depend on the annual Catholic Appeal. So please consider making your donation, as well as consider answering that call to donate your time and talent to a local church, school, or nonprofit. Answer Pope Francis' call to service by being a neighbor, helping your neighbors in need. And you can make that donation of time, talent, and treasure online through a link on our website, iobserve.org. There you can also keep up to date on all of the news on the Catholic Church and the Diocese of Springfield and around the world, as well as find daily news reports from our local Catholic communications team and the Catholic News Service. That's iobserve.org. Thank you in advance for your support of the annual Catholic Appeal. And join me again next week for another edition of Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you. Have a great week.
Reel to Reel is a production of the Catholic Communications Corporation, funded in part by the annual Catholic Appeal, and the support of you, our faithful viewers.